Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna, Sri Krishna. Gurur Brahma, Gurur Vishnu, Gurur Devo Maheshwara, Guru Sakshat Param Brahma, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah, Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Living Gita in day-to-day experiences of our life, it is possible if our fundamentals are clear. When fundamentals are clear, life is a fun. When fundamentals are not clear, life is mental. And when the life is mental, not only we are miserable, but we spread the miseries all around us. So what are the fundamentals of life? This is how Bhagavad Gita begins. What we have to do, what is an ideal husband, what is an ideal wife, what is an ideal son, what is an ideal father, what is an ideal mother-in-law. Everyone knows. We don't lack that knowledge because we are all the expressions of the divine knowledge. There is no possibility of absence of knowledge. Many of us mistake in understanding the word ignorance means absence of knowledge. It is not possible. Knowledge cannot be absent. See, I do not know English. So, the ignorance of English is known to me, is it not? So, how I am ignorant? Get this point. See, what we lack is the correct identity at a given period of time. The first chapter of Gita brings out this point. We all suffer from one common disease, and that common disease is called as identity crisis. And this identity crisis creates all the problems in life. See, which father doesn't know what are his duties towards the children? But when he forgets that, even for a moment, that time he goes the wrong way and thereafter regrets. Which son doesn't know what are his duty towards his parents? But for a moment he goes wrong way and regrets thereafter. See friends, all that we have to achieve as a spiritual seeker is to remain aware about one's identity at a given period of time. Now here we are. This discourse is going on. In this discourse there are two parties. One party is the one who is talking. Other party is the one who is listening. I am just imagining. I don't know whether you are listening or not listening. I am talking, this is the truth. See, it is recorded proof. Now, while talking, if I do not remain aware that I am a speaker, and this is the topic on which I have to dilate, I have to expand, and I forget this for a moment. When I look at somebody, suddenly I remember, oh, when I look at this lady, my mom is also like that, and I get carried away by that memory of my mother, and I become a son, and I forget that I am a speaker here. What will happen? We will never be able to do justice to what we are supposed to do. Now see your experience. Isn't it many times it happens? You must have seen even among the speakers. They start and they give some example. And in their example, they get carried away to such an extent. Then they ask the audience, excuse me, what I was talking? They get carried away. See, friends, therefore, I as a speaker, if I remain aware, at this moment, I have no other identity than a speaker. Now, the ball is in your court. You are supposed to be listener. If I am talking for 75 minutes, are you listening me 75 minutes? Huh? Even this is not heard. Because the mind has gone for a round. Now, why we are not able to be wherever we are? Because we are confused with our identities. See? So we are sitting here. Suddenly we remember something has happened in the office and we are sitting here. Ears are open. That speaker is talking non-stop. But we are not listening. Why? Because we have no more listeners. We have become an officer. We have become a mother. We have become a father. See how simple it is. So what is the meaning of living Gita in day-to-day life? Is this. Be 100% wherever you are, whatever you are, and whenever you are. Three things. You have learned everything in spirituality. Life becomes very simple. But inside us, we are not one. We are a crowd. Like a poultry farm. Can you imagine you enter a poultry farm and there is silence? Tell all the birds, keep quiet, meditation. You start. In the same manner, with the poultry farm inside, we want to sit for meditation. And all the birds simultaneously start, Om Purnamada Purnamada, simultaneously. See, friends, therefore, the fundamentals should be clear, and the first fundamental is we have to remain aware of our identity at a given period of time in a particular situation. And that identity should express 100%. See? What happens with our mind is, mind cannot survive if the mind reaches absolute present. You know, before coming, I was in Motabai's place and his grandson, he came to meet me. So I said, hey, what are you doing? You know what beautiful reply that child gave? He was holding Guru Baba's hand. He said, I am holding Guru Baba's hand. What are you doing? I am holding Guru Baba's. In utter present. He is living in meditation. See, if we are asked, what are you doing? Sit down. In 1918, we start our pedigree. See, we refuse to remain in the present. Or we are all the time trying to solve those problems which do not exist. An attempt to solve the non-existing problems is called as worrying. Suppose this thing happens, then what will happen? See, once I was going to Badrinath, and there was one American NRI who came. So, Swamiji, you have to sit with me and explain everything. I said, okay. I said, but I sit on the last seat. I will sit on the last seat. So in the corner I was sitting, and next to me, window side, she was sitting. You have to explain me everything, okay? I came all the way from America. The people from America think that they are, born in the heaven. So then I started. This is a tree. This is a stone. This is a bend. This is the road. This is water. Swamiji, what are you doing? I said, I am explaining you everything. Afterwards, when we are going up, and the roads are very narrow, and the buses, they run in such a manner that people from this country like yours also, they are afraid to sit in that, even in the car. See. So when the bus was going deep, 2,000, 4,000 feet, the river is Ganges are flowing. Swamiji, can I sit from this side? I said, yes, you can sit from this side. Change the position. Then I said, now further should I explain you? No, now you tell me, if our bus goes down, what will happen? I didn't reply. I was thinking. Again after, Swamiji, you are not telling me, if our bus goes down, what will happen? Again I didn't reply. Third time she became wild. Swamiji, you are pulling me. I said, no, I am not pulling you, because when the bus goes down, there is no need to reply. Let it go down first. Mind can survive only if it can avoid to stay in the present. The moment mind comes in the utter present, mind disappears. When the mind disappears, we feel we are lost, we are gone. Because we have trained ourselves to live in a chaos. Another example to make this point. One day one person came in Bombay to talk to me. Somebody, I want to ask you something. I said, you stand there and talk. Don't come near. He stood there. Then I asked him, first of all, you reply my question, then I will reply your question. Yes, Swamiji. Is your house nearer to the railway track? From there he says, yes, but how do you know? I said, because you are talking next to me with such a high pitch that you are talking without phone to me, and I am in America, you are in India. So I want to ask you a question. Now that man who has been living next to the railway track cannot talk normally, because he has developed that faculty. Every time, cut. So he has to talk loudly. And right from childhood, he develops that habit unknowingly. In the same manner, we have developed this habit of living in chaos. And that is why many seekers of truth, when they sit for meditation, if the mind starts becoming quiet, either that person goes to sleep, what is happening? Jhatka meditation. They cannot remain thought-free and without sleep, because we have trained our mind. If the mind is thought-free, go to sleep. That is the reason. And therefore, if we understand this basic principle, that the mind is the one which is creating all the chaos in our life. So living Gita in day-to-day life is working on the mind. Karma is not done for improving the world. Karma is done for purification of the mind. Karmani chitta shuddhyartham aikagryatham upasanam mokshartham brahma vijnanam iti vedanta dindimaha. Whenever we do something, where do we see the results of our action? See, like the parents bring up the children. So where is their attention? Their attention is on the children. See, I did so much for my child, but he doesn't respect me in my old age. See? So what is happening? Whatever we have done, our attention is on the field where we have acted. And it is a method of becoming miserable. Second thing, we do something and their eye becomes very strong. When I came to South Africa, I had nothing. But now I am a self-made man, like an amoeba without parents and God. Then I become so strong. Konyasti sadrusho maya. See, friends, if these two things are happening in karma, we are having not karma yoga, but karma roga, the disease of karma. Then what for to do the karma? Be very attentive. Whatever we do in our life, please remember, nobody needs us in this world. Be very clear. Nobody needs us. We are the most unwanted furniture in this world. But we have this wrong notion. Without me, how the world can move? There was a bullock cart carrying a huge load in the summer hot months going from one village to another village. And there was a dog of that owner which was walking below the bullock cart in the shadow of the bullock cart. And after about 3-4 hours, the man stopped the bullock cart, unyoked the bullocks, gave them water and some grass to eat, so they rest. And that time the dog also. So the dog was asked, "Why are you tired? Why are you tired?" "I have carried this bullock cart all the way because I was below that." See, friends, in the same manner, we have this notion, we are doing something. When we were not in this world, there was nothing lacking. When we will leave this world, there will be no lacuna. Therefore, our presence is most uncalled for. But we have this funny notion. I do this thing, I do suffer then. Therefore, karma we do only for one purpose. And that purpose is time pass. We have nothing to achieve through our karma. It is just for filling the gap. See? When we do anything for time pass, please understand this principle. Don't take it just to brush away. Bhagavad Gita talks of this principle. When Bhagavan says, Sukha dukhe same krutva labha labho jaya jayo tato yuddhaya yujjasva naivam papam avapsasi. Whenever you do anything, what are the possibilities? Either we win or we are defeated. When we win, we gain. When we are defeated, we lose. When we gain, we are happy. When we lose, we are miserable. Is it not? Now the teacher says, Same krutva. When you are doing anything, yes, sometimes you will win, sometimes you will be defeated. Be equanimous. Similarly, when you do business, yes, sometimes you will gain, sometimes you will lose. Be equanimous. And when you live in this world, yes, there will be sometimes joys, sometimes miseries. Be equanimous. Now be attentive. What exactly is the meaning of equanimity? How equanimity is equal to time pass. Understand this principle. Your life will be full of joy. Once I went to somebody's house for food. That is my profession. So when I went to take food, I have to listen to all what they say because it is a question of survival. Then that lady told Swamiji, there is still time, 15-20 minutes. You will have to wait, I am doing something. I said, it's okay, no problem. Anyway, what can I do? So I have to be a good person. No problem, it's okay, take your own time. Meanwhile, I will read newspaper. They had one monster child, about 8 years of age. Swamiji, you can't read newspaper, you have to play with me, carom. I said, yeah, you leave me, No, we have to play carom. Now I have to take food in his house. How can I say no? All right, I will teach you. I said, very good. And he started putting the things. And he was very expert. And I never know how to play. But I am also not less. I said, theft is not a crime unless you are caught. This is the fundamental rule. See, therefore, I used to know how to win. This fellow is taking one by one another dice. So I will show to the wall, ask, hey, whose picture is that? Is that picture of Mahatma Gandhi? He will look that side and laugh, no Swamiji. Meanwhile, I will take 2, 3 of them. This is called a jugaad technique. Simply lifted me. And I did 2, 3 times and he caught me. And he started crying. I said, come on man, don't cry, you will win, you are genius. And again we started. And then the same technique, I started putting in these things. And meanwhile the mother says, Swamiji, food is ready. I said, hey, leave it, let's go and eat food. No, we have to play completely. And he wanted to complete the game. And when he won, he was very happy. And for me, playing carom for 15 minutes was a time pass. Therefore, Jaya Jayo, whether I get win or a defeat, it makes no difference to me. Whether I gain or I lose, it makes no difference to me. Whether it is a joy or the sorrow, it makes no difference to me because I was playing carom for a time pass. Understand this principle. Like we have come here. For what? Time pass. Otherwise, what will I do in South Africa? So I have something to do. So I just came here. And I said, it's good, 1 hour, 1.5 hours, I can have a nice time pass. And unless I talk, who will give me food? So I just come here for a time pass. And you also have come for a time pass. And thus both of us are cheerfully happy, nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Understand this principle. So when we do the karma, whatever we do in life, if we keep this principle in our heart, then whatever we are doing, world doesn't need, it is our need. And when it is our need, we cannot be arrogant. See, you must have gone through immigrations in any airport. Then, suppose there is a big queue and you are standing there and there is one particular immigration officer and some passenger immigrant going through and there is some shouting and fighting going on and the police is called and that fellow is taken away and then you are standing in the queue and you pray to the Lord, oh Lord, I should not go to that monster, he is terrible fellow, oh God, and finally you are go to number 13, you go there, and when it is your need, how do you talk to that person? Hi, best, because it is your need, is it not? See friends, if we want to bring out the best out of us, understand this, the world doesn't need us, it's our need. then our mind will remain at peace and cheerful. Be attentive. Karma yoga is not doing karma to get happiness. Karma yoga is an opening for expressing happiness. Let us not do something to get happiness. Let us do everything to express happiness. See? What a difference it will make. Suppose you have to give water to somebody else come. Oh God, these people coming. Will you please give me a glass of water? Okay, take it. A very simple thing. Whatever we do, it must be an expression of joy. So you talk. Talking is karma. If one is talking to express happiness, he will never bark. You know, there are two types of people. Some people talk, some people bark. Why you have come here? What do you want here? Why are you standing here? Wow, Hare Ram, Ram, Ram. Talk, cool. So, karmani chitta shuddhyartham. This is a simple technique. Similarly, when we are living, there will be sometime victory, sometime defeat, sometime gain, sometime loss. It is natural. In this world, there is no possibility of only one thing. Like a cloth is made up of threads which are crisscrossing. There cannot be a cloth with threads going only in one direction. No, but I want a cloth going with the threads going only in one direction. Then take a rope and hang yourself. If it is a cloth, it has to have the crisscross. In the same manner, life has both the aspects. So let us not take it too seriously. But we feel small little thing happens in our life as if we have come to a cardless act. No. Therefore, when we are living correct identity, whatever we are supposed to do it cheerfully and happily as a time pass, and that's it. You have learned everything in Bhagavad Gita. Don't imagine, I want God realization. What will you do thereafter? Suppose you want God, you want to see God. Imagine, I am God, you see me. What next? You have to live still. Dhruva had seen God. You all know the story of Dhruva. What happened to him? See, after he became the king, he ruled the earth, and while he was ruling, his stepbrother Uttam, he was killed by the tribes in the Himalayas, and Dhruva became so angry, he wanted to annihilate the total clan. So after having seen God, also this thing happens. Therefore, seeing God cannot be the goal of life. Then let God express through us. So what is living Gita in daily life? One thing is expression of happiness. Second thing is, instead of we wanting to do something, let us be available for Him who wants to get something done through us. Therefore, in the 6th chapter of Gita, Bhagavan Sri Krishna says, Uddhared atmanatmanam natmanam avasade atmaiva atmano bandhu atmaiva ripuratmana. We are here for our evolution. We are not here to improve the world. The world has always been like this. There is nothing new in this world. See, take this example. Suppose this is a class and I am a teacher and I am teaching you, let us take physics. So when I am teaching you something, will you tell me Sir, he has not understood. Please explain again. No, in the classroom we are concerned whether we have learned or not. Not with others. In the same manner, in this university of the existence, we are all here to learn from the experiences of our life and grow wise, rather than making others wise. But all our spirituality is try to make others happy. Never do that. God has failed. You be happy, that is all. You know, once I went in Rajasthan, there was one person with me who took me there. It was a samadhi of a great Mahatma. So for the first time I was going, on our way, my friend asked me, Swamiji, you know, I have got a lot of money and everything, there is no problem. I want to do something for the society. What should I do? Guide me. I told him, be happy. He got so annoyed. Swamiji, don't you know anything other than this? I said, okay, be miserable. Other options. No, be serious. Please tell me sincerely. I said, let me finish darshan, then I will tell you. We went, we had our darshan, padakshina. I inquired about that Mahatma, everything was through. And when we are coming out, like when we go out of this hall, there are big walls. In the same manner, in that place, when you are coming out of that compound, very big compound, about 10 feet height, all around. On the compound wall, from inside it was written, to be happy is the highest social service. Then I took him, took his head and hit on that three legs. When I tell you, it is a useless thing. Now this Mahatma also said the same thing. You all Mahatmas are the same. For us, imagination is this, if I do something to others, be attentive. What we do to others, whatever we feel is right. Suppose I am a smoker and you are a social worker. You will come to me and what will you talk? Swamiji, I should not tell you. You are a Swami. But if a Swami smokes, what people will think? So for the sake of the society, you should stop smoking. And then I will stop smoking. Then you will see, I have done a great social service. I have stopped him smoking. So our social service is imposition of our views on others. If I am a vegetarian, what will be my social service? Take a big project. Let the whole world become vegetarian. See, this is not the way. Therefore, let us focus attention on ourselves. Then what is that attention? We must be a perfect instrument so that the Lord can choose us to express through us. See, suppose I want to have good food. I am staying with Arvind. Suppose I want to have good food. I will never ask Arvind. Because I know who can give me good food in that house. If I want to do experiment on me, then I will ask him. But if I want to do something about my camera, this thing, that thing, then I will never ask his wife. She will give a tadka to this. So even in the worldly things, we select a person for a particular job, is it not? In the same manner, if the Lord has to get something done for His creation, He is also searching for a right instrument. So what is our spiritual practice according to Gita? Remain aware wherever you are placed, whatever your duties are there, do them perfectly well. And what is the perfection? Perfection is our mind becomes purified. See, friends, now there is one more problem which comes in the purification of the mind. We start having sattvic ego. Sattvic ego is what? If somebody is a drunkard, there is a possibility he will give up drinking. So he has improved. If somebody is eating non-vegetarian, he gave up, he is improved. Somebody is too rustic, fighting with everybody, he gave up fighting, he has improved. But if a person like me, who gets up early in the morning and finishes his morning ABCD and then takes bath and does meditation and then chants Om Sri Ram, Jai Ram, Jai Jai Ram, studies Bhagavad Gita, Upanishad and all that. Now, what can be improved upon? Punyasti Sadrusho Maya, holier than thou. This ego of goodness is extremely dangerous. This is what happens with many people. They have really done a great job for their family, for the society, and yet they are totally sorted out. Nobody wants them. What is the reason? Because of this sattvic ego. They all the time compare. I am not like others. I have taken care of my whole family. When my father died, I have taken care of all the 5 brothers, sisters, and all that, blah, 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 blah. But now in the old age, totally all alone, lonely. Because this sattvic ego is such a poisonous one, we cannot recognize it. To come out of this ego, the next step, Bhagavad Gita tells, we have to have an element of devotion in our heart. If something is God done through us, it is not our ability, it is He has chosen us. See, can the camera have the arrogance that I will be showing this to everybody? It is just a machine. Can this mic say that I have given a good lecture to everybody? See, friends, if we are able to do something in this world, it is He has chosen us, not we have wanted. In this manner, when in all our activities, whatever we are doing, we have to bring in the element of devotion. Devotion should be brought in life, but not first devotion and then karma. No, first karma and then devotion. If the sequence is changed, you know what happens? Devotion. Oh God, you know everything, you know. Oh, now what are you doing? I am lazy. First do and then devotion. If first devotion is there, Jehi vidhi rakhe ram, tehi vidhi rahiye. No. This sequence is very important. Therefore, karmani chitte shuddhyartham. When mind becomes pure, yet the mind is not steady. So to make the mind steady, the devotion is brought in between. And when a mind becomes steady and pure, now that mind has not to be kept quiet like the yoga tells. Yoga tells that keep the mind free from thoughts. Chitta vritti nirodha yoga. Bhagavad Gita doesn't agree with that. According to Bhagavad Gita, yoga is tam vidyat dukkha sanyoga viyogam yoga sannitam sa nishchena yoktavyaha yogaha anirvinna chetasa. When the miseries come in our life, we refuse to be miserable. That refusal to be miserable is the yoga according to Bhagavad Gita. Twisting the body or sitting in one posture for a long period of time is neither yoga nor meditation. Simply sitting in one posture for 2 hours, if this is yoga, then all the buffaloes in India, they are Mahayogis. They don't sit 2 hours, they sit for 10 hours in one posture, right in the middle of the road. Even the trucks cannot disturb their equipoise. They are in the Shambhavi Mudra. See, that cannot be the yoga. Yoga is not a body, it is the experience. Therefore, when we are practicing Gita in our day-to-day life, karma is done for a time pass. Time pass means we don't get involved in success or failure, we do for the joy of doing it. See friends, if the parents can understand, the real fulfillment of the parenthood is when the children are growing up to the age of 6 or 7, give them all love, everything. So the bond of oneness is created. From 7 to 13 years of age, discipline is taught. From 13 to 19 years of age, ambition and inspiration, commitment, achievement, goal, that is given. And when the child has reached the 19, be a friend to the child. But we Indian parents always complain. One old Punjabi mother was telling me, Swamiji, my children don't listen to me. I said, call them. So we called. 3 children came. The eldest child was retired brigadier. And the mother has a complaint. My child doesn't listen to me. Now what can you talk to that lady? See? Yes, they will be definitely younger than you, no doubt about it. But they are no more child. They are already grown-ups. Therefore, when we thus grow spiritually, we have completed our duties perfectly well and freed ourselves. We are devoted to the Lord, so the poison of the ego does not take possession of our personality. Then third stage, let us not be content with that. Now start inquiry about our own real nature. So the third step, what Bhagavad Gita tells is this. Simply sitting for half an hour before the Lord or having bhajan kirtan, that cannot be the end. It cannot be. See, the other day where I was somewhere in, I don't remember, Himalayas or somewhere. So one person met me, Swamiji, you do Bhagavad Katha also? I said, yes. Then I want to organize a Bhagavad Katha for 7 days. I said, no, you get somebody. I told some names. You call them. No. I said, why no? Because I have heard that Bhagavad Katha 100 times. Tabla, Peti, and Nanda ki Ananda Bhayo Jai Kalaya Alala ki. This I have done sufficiently. 100 times I have done. But it just becomes a ritual. And in that the competition is how much you have spent. I have spent 7 lakhs, nothing. I spent 10 lakhs. That cannot be. He said, Bhagavad cannot be an entertainment. It has got a depth in it. The first verse says, Satyam Param Dhimahi, not Krishnam Param Dhimahi. See friends, there is such a depth in Bhagavad Mahapuran, but that is becoming secondary and it becomes only Utsav, celebration. He said, I have heard it number of times. Now I really want to go into the depth of it. What exactly Bhagavata means. See friends. And then we slowly get involved in inquiry. As to when I say I am old, means body. When I say I am hungry, I means prana. When I say I am miserable, I means mind. When I say I am a successful man, I means Vijnanamaya Kosha. And when I say I am to Baba, happy go lucky, that means I am the Anandamaya Kosha. Who are we? Are we one? And after we are identified with the body, then I am husband, wife, brother, father, mother, sister, in-law, outlaw. Such a huge crowd, who am I? Unless this inquiry is kindled in our heart, we are still in KG1, KG2. It is for this purpose, in the 13th chapter, after completion of the karma, yoga and the bhakti, devotion, Bhagavan Krishna takes this topic. Idam shariram kaunteya kshetramitya vidhiyate etadyo vetitam prahu kshetrajnaiti tadvidaha kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. Three things. Hey Arjun, this body is a field. And the embodied is the kshetrajya, the knower of the kshetra, the field. When this is said, what is our understanding? Like for every shoe, there is a separate soul. In the same manner, for every body, there is a separate soul. And then, when the body dies, the soul goes out depending upon what that soul was like. If the soul was a yogi, it will leave the body from the top. If the soul was a bhogi, it will leave the body from the bottom. When the soul leaves the body from the bottom, it goes into the lower forms, animal forms. And if the soul leaves from the top, it goes to the divine world. You go to the Bhurbhuva Swaha Mahajana Tapa Satyam, all higher worlds. And after staying there, again you are thrown back. Shirde Pudne Martyalokam Vishanti. Again we come back to the mortal world. And in this manner, Punarapi Jananam, Punarapi Maranam, Punarapi Janani Jatare Shayanam. This story is one. Bhagavan says, this is not the truth. The truth is, there are many bodies, but the one who is expressing through all the bodies is not many, is only one. It is here we are totally shaken up. See, friends, the first error to be corrected according to Bhagavad Gita is come to cognize that we are someone, the embodied, who is other than the body. Once I went to my friend's place, I knocked the door and the maid servant opened them. I said, Gupta ji is there? No, Swamiji has gone out. I said, okay, I'll come later. No, don't go, come in. I said, what for? Even if Gupta ji is not there, so what? There are furnitures and there are walls and there is, curtain and there is fan. Only Gupta ji is not there, so what? Other things are there. Have I come to see the furniture in the house? In the same manner, when somebody dies, what we say? Dead and gone. Who has gone? The embodied has gone. No, he may go, but the body is there. What will you do with the body? So unless we recognize that the embodied is other than the body, then see, if we simply theoretically accept it, what will be the consequence of this knowledge? See, friends, the first consequence will be, if the embodied is other than the body, then the fear for death will disappear. Number two, if the embodied is other than the body, we give to our children only the body. The embodied is not created by the parents. Therefore, parents have no right on the children. What right we have on our tenant? We have some property for investment and then we give it for a person on hire. He is your tenant. Can you tell your tenant, you should eat only vegetarian in my house? No. You have not created the tenant. The moment you recognize this knowledge in letter and spirit, all the problems of the relative world will disappear. See, friends, that we are unable to cognize this. After body identification only, all the secondary relations are born. Therefore, the first step Gita tells us, come to recognize that the embodied is other than the body. After this really happens, you cannot sit quiet in this world. Then your inquiry, it is something like, when a spark of fire catches a dry fuel, it will become a conflagration sometime or the other. In the same manner, when we come to accept that the embodied is other than the body, then the fire is lit. Who am I? As a body, there is no problem, there is no question, who am I? As a body, I am a man, I am a woman, I am young, I am old, I am rich, I am poor. Where is the problem? There is no doubt. But if I accept, even theoretically, that I am someone other than the body, then the question comes, who am I? Am I a man or woman? Am I young or old? Am I black or white or yellow? Who am I? See, friends. And then, here the Bhagavan says, Kshetrajnam chapi mam vidhi sarva kshetreshu bharata. O Arjuna, in and through all the things and beings, there is one reality pulsating and expressing. Take here, there are a dozen bulbs. Bulb-wise, they are many. Light-wise, they are one. In the same manner, body-wise, we are many. Life-wise, we are one. See, as the pangs of hunger for a rich man, for a poor man, for a deer, for a tiger, for a snake, for a frog, for a crocodile, the principle of hunger is common everywhere. It is not separate. The principle of vision, it is common because life is common. But instead of recognizing ourselves to be the life, we recognize ourselves to be the individualities. See, friends, this is what Bhagavan says in Bhagavad Gita. Who is the real yogi? Atmaupamena sarvatra samam pashyati yorjuna sukham va jadi va dukkham sa yogi paramo mataha. He who is able to recognize the pangs of hunger suffered by other people and therefore he is ready to share whatever he has. He has really merged with the totality. See, friends. And similarly, he who is happy in the happiness of others. Normally what happens? We are jealous in the happiness of others. We know how money they have, We are not happy in the happiness of others. The day we discover this principle, the sense of separateness will disappear. And then the experience will be like what? There is one mind behind all the five sense organs. When the mind comes out of the eyes, it is called as vision. When the mind comes out of the ears, it is called as hearing ability. When the mind comes out of the nose, it is called as poking ability. Pokeability. So the mind is one. Now, if there is one mind behind all the sense organs, will the mind have biasness towards the five sense organs? Cannot be. See, friends, a person, be very attentive, who is living at sense organs level, he has not grown up to come at the level of the mind. He is living at the sense organs level, a slave to his own faculties. Unless I get this thing, I will not eat. A slave to the tongue. And see the funny part with the tongue, how much we are obsessed with our food. And we keep on eating. When we eat beyond our capacity, we become fat. Why? Because we are slave to the tongue. But the tongue never becomes fat. Tongue makes us eat. Tongue never becomes fat. Even you can see a fat person doesn't have a fat tongue. But we become the slave to that tongue. And this is how the samsara begins. So when we come to recognize that, like behind all the sense organs, there is mind. Therefore, don't we say, no, Swamiji, when you are talking, my mind was running away. So, it is not the ears that are hearing. It is the mind behind the ears which is hearing. Now, what is mind? So, if a person has graduated, he has risen above the sense organs and come to the mind, then he will no more be a slave to the worldly objects or worldly enjoyments. Now he is living at a higher level of existence at the level of mind. Now when he comes to mind, does he become sentimental on every issue? Or he goes further. What is mind? Mind is an expression of consciousness through the body. See, like vision is an expression of mind through the eyes. In the same manner, consciousness expressing through the body is called as mind. And after the mind is born in the body, then the body becomes enlivened. So, when the mind is unfolded, gets identified with the body, this gross world becomes real. When the mind identifies itself with its own modification, the dream world is created. When the mind gets identified with the absence of the waking and the dream, then the deep sleep experience is created. And if the body is no more capable of expressing the consciousness as a mind, the mind disappears. When the mind disappears, body falls dead. But in that dead body also there is consciousness. Be attentive. If I consider myself to be the body, I will be miserable happy. If I consider myself to be the mind, I will be emotional, etc. But when I recognize myself to be that principle which is expressing through the body as a mind, and therefore if the body is not good, the mind has disappeared, nothing has happened to me. I continue to exist. Like when the colors and forms are removed, nothing happens to the vision. When the eyes are closed, nothing happens to the mind. When the mind disappears, nothing happens to the pure conscious principle that we are. Come to recognize this principle. It is for this purpose. The earlier part of Bhagavad Gita talks about do your karma, purify your mind. Be disciplined through yoga. Then be devoted to the Lord so that your ego does not create problem. And then when you are at peace with yourself, then start inquiry. Who am I? And in that inquiry, the teacher says, Neyam yattat pravakshami yajnatva mృతముచ్యతే anadimat param brahma na tat sat na asaduchyate. The truth is without beginning, without end. Now analyze your experience. Do we have the experience of our birth? Do we have the experience that we have modified in age? Do we have the experience of our death? And do we have the experience of our absence? Answer to all these four questions is no, 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 no. This eternal presence about which we have no doubt, we have no question. That is Krishna. Once we recognize this, thereafter play the game of life. And what is the game of life? थोड़ी गम है, थोड़ी खुशियाँ, ये जीवन है. Sometimes joy, sometimes sorrows. Sometimes you will win, sometimes you will lose. This is how the game of life is. The moment I say somebody is beautiful, I have created an ugly person. The moment I say somebody is rich, I have created a poor person. The moment I say somebody is intelligent, I have created a dumbo. When I say somebody is tall, I have created a short. See, friends, because the world is existing in the self-cancelling pairs of opposite. In the infinite, plus minus is equal to same. There is no difference. Coming to this ultimate presence is possible. It is not a theory and it can be lived by every one of us. This is how Bhagavad Gita we can live every day in our life. It's not difficult. And when we thus do this journey from the objective world to the subjective presence, this journey is not in time. This journey is not in space. This journey doesn't begin. This journey doesn't end because you reach nowhere. Because you are that. It is a journey like a wife becoming a woman. Wife doesn't have to become a woman. She is a woman. But she is so much overpowered by the husband, she has forgotten that you are not 24/7 a wife. Only when that Dumbo comes, you behave like a wife. Otherwise, be yourself. Life will be cheerful and happy. All the time, I don't know, other people's husbands are so good, my one is like, you know, the grass on the other side of the fence is always green. Husbands cannot be intelligent and good. If they are intelligent, they will never become husbands. So don't have wrong feelings. It is your fault that you are expecting intelligent. See, friends. Thus live cheerfully and happily in this world and let you be a source of joy to everyone around you. And this can be possible if you are at peace with yourself. A person who is not at peace with himself or herself cannot be at peace with the world. And why we are not at peace with ourselves? Because we expect too many things from the world. World should be like this thing. Oh, the world is beautiful. If we are able to see the beauty as it is, then we have got the right vision. See, friends. But we are so accustomed to makeup that the original thing we have forgotten. One wife in heavy rains reaches home and now the tuck. Husband opens the door and closes it. Again she knocks, tuck. And so, why are you troubling me? Then the wife says, you don't recognize me. Oh, it is you, I didn't recognize you. Because of the rains, all the makeup was washed out and breakup came out. Originality is forgotten. Be yourself and be happy. If you be yourself, you will be happy. If you become somebody, you will be miserable. See? As a man, we are happy. As a husband, we are unhappy. As a woman, we are happy. As a wife, we are unhappy. The moment you become something, you have started the story of miseries. In this manner, come to cognize and be whatever you are. And then you will come to know there is only one being, and that is being happy. Once you take this vow in your life, that I shall never be miserable, then you discover your own techniques, like a child. You know, many of us have got this wrong notion. Swamiji, what is there for you to say all the time? Be happy, be happy, be happy. Get married and so be happy. Means what? Marriage is a license to be miserable or what? If it is a license, then continue to be miserable. See? One simple example I will give you to conclude how this is possible. What kind of commitment is required? A child, human child, when it is born, the child doesn't know how to walk. And then slowly it starts learning. And first step the child takes and falls. If that time the child decides, I cannot walk, will he ever learn to walk in his life? Now, second thing, does the child ever ask the mother, Mommy, when you were a baby, how did you start walking? No. He discovers his own techniques. One day he comes to know that if he uses his hands and slowly goes, he can move forward. He starts that way. Then one day he discovers if he take the support of the wall, he can stand, and with the holding the wall, he can start. Then he goes on holding to anything that comes in his hand and stands. And one day he goes near the dining table and catches hold of the tablecloth full with all the crockery and food, and he gets up and everything on the table comes on the floor, but he stands up so happily. He doesn't give up. Exactly the same way. Don't give up. Only one spiritual practice. Be happy. There is nothing more than that, friends. I am not giving you a mala in the hand. Do this Maha Mantra. Om Bhurvusvata Savitur. Then you suffer throat like Om Bhurvusvata. And then that mantra doesn't get finished, and then you get miserable. Om Bhurvur. No. Simply remain cheerful and happy. Cheerful and happy means, number one, no complaints. Number 2, no talking of past. Number 3, no worries. Number 4, no comparisons. Try. It is possible. We must, we should, we can, we will.